So today, we're diving into the massive, sprawling novel that is Shantaram. At its heart, it's really a story about what happens when a person loses absolutely everything: their home, their freedom, even their own name, and has to figure out who they are all over again, right in the middle of the beautiful chaos of Bombay.
Man, that quote just sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? Our main guy is an escaped convict. He's a hunted man. So for him, freedom isn't some abstract idea. It's this thing he has to win every single day. There is no 5-year plan. There's just today. And every day he's not caught is its own little lifetime.
Okay, so we meet our guy as he lands in Bombay. He's going by the name Lindsay Ford, or Lynn for short. He's got a fake passport, a little bit of money, and basically one goal, and it's a desperate one. Just melt into the crowd and disappear forever. And that's really all he is at this point. He's defined entirely by what he's running from. He sees Bombay as this huge, wild, complicated play being performed all around him. But the thing is, he doesn't have a script. He's just a ghost, totally adrift, trying to stay one step ahead of his past. But his whole world starts to shift almost immediately. See, Lynn's first look at a Bombay slum is just pure shock. He sees it as this kind of hell on earth. But then he gets forced to look closer, to see past the noise and the chaos. And what he finds is just incredible. Spotless homes, this amazing sense of community, and just grace. What he thought was hell starts to look a lot like humanity. Right, so to survive, Lynn knows he can't be an outsider forever. A man on the run needs a place to hide, a place to belong. And what's wild is that he ends up finding not one, but two completely different, totally conflicting worlds that start to pull him in and shape who he's becoming. And these two worlds could not be more different. On one hand, you have the slum, where he finds this incredible sense of purpose. He actually becomes their makeshift doctor. It's a world of loyalty and real connection. And then you have the other side of the coin. He gets drawn into the orbit of this place called Leopold's Cafe, which is the hub for foreign criminals, artists, and hustlers. That's his world of danger and shady deals. You want to know how deep he gets? That first overwhelming smell of the slum, the one that made him want to run, it actually becomes comforting to him. For Lynn, it starts to smell like home. It means he's safe. I mean, that's when you know he's not an outsider looking in anymore. He's truly part of the place. And it's right at the crossroads of these two worlds, the saint and the sinner, that Lynn meets the man who is going to completely define this new life of his, Abdel Khader Khan. He's a powerful mafia boss who also happens to be a philosopher. Go figure. So this guy, Khader, he's basically a legend in the underworld. He's smart, he's dangerous, and he commands this insane level of respect. And for some reason, he sees something in Lynn and sort of takes him under his wing, treating him like a son, which feels both incredibly genuine and deeply, deeply menacing. And this is where things get really weird. Khader has this whole elaborate philosophy to justify his criminal empire. He believes the universe is constantly trying to become more complex, and that final, ultimate complexity, that's God. So in his worldview, anything that makes the world more complex is good, and anything that simplifies things is evil. It's a way of thinking that, well, it can justify pretty much anything. I mean, that just turns everything we think about morality completely upside down, right? If smuggling weapons creates a more complex political situation, is that a good thing? This is the moral maze Lynn finds himself wandering through. And honestly, it's a question that sticks with you long after you read it. Now, as if navigating a philosopher gangster's moral code wasn't enough, Lynn gets lost in a whole different kind of maze, an emotional one. And at the center of it is this beautiful, smart, and totally mysterious woman named Karla. I mean, what a line, right? That's Karla in a nutshell. She's a complete enigma. She refuses to give Lynn easy answers or the simple affection that he really wants. She cares about him, you can tell, but her love is like this puzzle that he can never, ever solve. She's always just a little out of reach. So, just as Lynn is starting to see Khader as this father figure, the ground just completely falls out from under him. He finds out something horrifying. You know that slum clinic? The one pure, good thing he was doing? Khader was using it all along to test black market medicines on the poorest of the poor before shipping them off to a war. It's just a gut punch. And if that wasn't bad enough, the betrayal cuts even deeper. He realizes that meeting Karla wasn't fate. It was a setup. She worked for Khader. Her job was to find useful foreigners just like him. So in a flash, the two pillars of his new life, his mentor and his love, just crumble. It was all built on lies.
This total collapse sends Lin into a downward spiral. I mean, this is his darkest chapter. He's stripped of everything all over again, and now he's facing a series of trials that will either break him for good or forge him into something completely new.
And his journey to rock bottom comes in 3 brutal stages. First, he gets thrown into a notorious prison and endures things you can't even imagine. When he gets out, he's so broken that he falls into a heroin addiction that just erases him. And then, in a last-ditch effort to find some meaning, he follows the very man who betrayed him into a war in Afghanistan. And just listen to how he describes that withdrawal. Life with the skin torn away. It gives you a sense of the hell he went through. It's not just physical pain, it's emotional. It's every fear, every regret, hitting you all at once with 0 defenses. It is a complete unmaking of a person.
And yet, somehow, he survives it all. He loses Khader in the war, he loses friends, he loses any hope of a simple life with Karla. The man he was when he arrived in Bombay is gone, completely burned away. But what comes out of that fire is someone new, someone who has been to the absolute edge and found a harder, more honest version of himself.
And that really leaves us with the central question of the whole book. Shantaram isn't just a story about an escaped convict. It's about how an identity is made and remade. And it asks all of us a pretty profound question. If everything you think defines you was suddenly taken away, what would be left? Who would you really be?